What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Unfiltered Truth. I am your host, Phil Jones. With me, my brother from another mother, the incomparable, the almighty Phil Jones. Phil, what's going on, brother?
Hey yo, what's up? What's up? Hey man,
Uh,
how you doing today? Raider
you look
Nation, I hope you guys enjoying your weekend.
absolutely. You look a little bit more streamlined. You go and get that cut that you needed so desperately. Thank you. We appreciate that. No more soft side of the Velcro strap for you.
Oh, kiss my ass.
Anyway, we got a lot to get into. There's after the draft, the story never stops. The Raiders continue to make headlines, some for good reasons, some for not so good reasons.
I mean, where do you want to start at?
The
We
Teddy
kind of
Atlas.
knew.
We got to
I
start
mean,
with Teddy Atlas. We got to start with Teddy. Take them in order. Start with Teddy
yeah,
Atlas.
but we look, yeah, he's been with the team for a long time, and they were just like, hey, we're going a different direction. We're bringing in our own guys, and to be honest. Have we really had that much success with Teddy Atlas? I'm
No.
just saying. Had we really had that much success with Teddy Atlas? Because right now, Ziegler wants to bring in his guys, some from New England, and New England has had great success with their guys from the draft class, even if they're guys that are later rounds or unknowns. So, in my opinion, this was a business decision. It was a smart decision. And, I wish him the best of luck wherever he's going. But the fact of the matter is, I wouldn't even trip. Not at all.
Not at all. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Dan brought in, or not Dan, but Dave brought in another one of his guys from New England, a guy whose track record is proven, the quality of football players, quality of draft picks that they select, no matter where in the draft,
Yeah.
is been documented and applauded, and it's just simple. It's just an upgrade. Dave and Josh McDaniels promised us when they at their opening press conference that they were going to continue to evolve and continue to get better and better in every aspect of the organization, and which includes everything that they do. The scouts, the front office, the directors.
Yeah.
Said even Dave even brought in a capable GM to share his job with. It's egoless. It's about the business of football.
There's
Nobody's
balance.
there's balance. Nobody's out here trying to be the star of the show. Everybody's out here trying to make the product on the field the star. And that's where the focus needs to be. That's what at this point, with everything the Raiders have accomplished in terms of getting their brand new stadium, getting guys back to the Pro Bowl, getting to the playoffs, they're doing everything that they need to do to be a competent premier organization. Except now they got to start adding to the trophy case.
Yeah, I mean, you did all the dirty work. You did the proper steps. Hey, Jim, how you doing? Flamingo, how you doing? Ray the Lifer. Nugs, how you guys all doing? Ace, you're doing all the proper steps to getting your organization in this century, this generation, and you're in the proper flow. But here's the but, and like you said, we need trophies, AFC championships, a Super Bowl. I get it. I understand. Hey, Kenny, how you doing? I understand that, you can't win all the Super Bowls in the world. But when you start, like you said, winning your division, winning the conference.
Yep.
You gotta go, you gotta start tallying that up. The problem is we live so much in the past as an organization, as a fan base, we have to get away from that. Ziegler
Absolutely.
and them are getting us on that path of, hey, whatever we do now is what we're looking for. We're looking for wins. We're looking to build up, like you said, that trophy case.
Becoming a more and more competent organization in which in winning. We'd like to look back at the past, but you have to look at the past for Raiders that was good was the original. I mean, we're talking all the way back to the beginning of the franchise. In between those there were, and I really want to say, if yeah, there have been now to this stage in the history of the Raiders, it's almost 50-50 in terms of glory years and piss poor performance.
Yeah.
Nearly entire half of the franchise's history was great, was the best, and the other half has been the worst. But but Dave, Josh, Champ, even the direction Mark is gone, is all moving towards the future. It's got their eyes on what matters. It's got them in the modern day. They got a shiny new stadium. They're the modern Raiders. Now the only thing that the vision has been put together. We got the world's best team, the world's best coaching staff, the world's best front office. They're trying to add to the wins. This was the Raider dream. And we have to stop and give Mark Davis credit for putting this together when for so long they were stuck out in the wilderness. And I'm
Yeah,
not
I mean,
calling
y'all,
Oakland,
I
I'm
mean,
not
we
calling
won.
Oakland the wilderness. I'm calling the whole situation where they were renting a stadium. They weren't maximizing revenue. They were going with retread after retread because everybody that you can remember in
Hey, I
Raider
got a better
history.
way of saying it. I
Go
got a
ahead.
better way of saying it. We were the welfare team. We were the team on welfare.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
see, look, I'm looking at mine. I'm thinking that was me. Damn. But Phil, ooh, yesterday's fiasco.
The talk of the town.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
So, for those who were under a rock and unaware, let me break it down for you. Early in the morning, I got a notification that said the Raider from the Raiders account from Mark Davis himself, stating that Dan Ventrelle was no longer with the organization and there'd be no further comment. That didn't come from that didn't come from the Raiders press staff. That wasn't under their press account. That was straight from their account, signed by Mark. And to me, that signaled a big, big problem. Now, I had heard, had not confirmed this for myself because I haven't seen any paperwork, but the Raiders had conducted a finance audit this week. And the way that this was a firing. Let's call it what it is. This was a
You're right. I'm not even disagreeing because I go back and we look at the Mark Bedane situation. You know, everybody will say, "Oh, he fired Mark Bedane." No, Mark Bedane left, and they were able to actually have a statement right after that. Dre, how you doing? So that's why I said these situations are two different matters. Bedane said he was tired. He's ready to move on. You know, I want to focus on my family. And that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the matter with Ventrelle, and I'm going to tell you this situation is going to get ugly.
Real ugly.
Ventrelle is involved in a lot of stuff within the Vegas community, whether it's dealing with he was representing for like the team with the military and their youth, whether it's with the Catholic charity board. I could go on and so forth. He had a hand with working with everybody. And you get rid of someone like that, you know, I'm going to tell you this. When you're in certain things like that, you network, okay? You network for yourself. Because I've done something like that. I've networked for myself when I'm in certain things to help me out, to help my growth. And when you have that all through Vegas, and you read the comment that he made, and you know, I can read it to you guys. I know we went through it and read it and said like, oh damn, oh it's gonna get ugly. So we can just go right back through it. Today, Mark Davis terminated my employment as president of the Las Vegas Raiders. I have committed almost 18 years of my life to the success of the Raiders as general counsel and president. I take that responsibility very seriously, which is why multiple written complaints from employees that Mark created a hostile work environment and engaged in other potential misconduct caused me grave concern. When Mark was confronted about these issues, he was dismissive and did not demonstrate the warrant level of concern. Given this, I informed the NFL of these issues and of Mark's unacceptable response. Soon thereafter, I was fired in retaliation for raising these concerns. I firmly stand by my decision to elevate these issues to protect the organization and its female employees. I remain committed to doing everything in my power to support the Raiders in the Las Vegas community I now call home. I have retained counsel and will have no further comment at this moment. Now, I'm going to tell you this. The key word here, Las Vegas community. Now, what did I say in his hand on everything?
That he was deep in the Las Vegas community.
All right, then. Now, I've heard something similar like this before. As I recall, going back to the Gruden email fiasco, Amy Trask had put up, about there being like a hostile work environment for the female employees. This is going back, I believe, during the time when we had Bruce Allen back in 2003. Guess who was hired back in 2003 during that time frame?
Danny V.
There you go. Now, could this all be true? This is a strong accusation. A strong accusation.
Yeah, definitely not one to be taken lightly. Definitely not one to be dismissed, especially in the midst of what's going on with the Commanders' organizational climate.
And I've heard folks, I've kind of like chatted with a few folks, and I know some folks like, well, this is not going to, I don't think this is going to stick. Oh, it will stick. It will drag and drag and drag. As you look at the Commanders' situation with their hostile work environment, that investigation has dragged on. And if I'm right, now, if this is happening currently, whatever's going on in that front office, it needs to get cleaned out. Now, this is something that is being thrown out there from the past that happened back in 2003, I believe. Then that is a thorn in Mark Davis's ass. even though it had nothing to do with him at that time because he wasn't working in the front office at that time. Because, like I said, these all sound similar to what Amy Trask has said back in 2003 when Bruce Allen was there and Dan Ventrelle has started there. Yes, there'll be an investigation.
Yes, there'll be an investigation.
But it's going to linger on to cause, just frustration, drama, headlines, you name it. Shh. Quiet. I ain't trying to have a red dot on my chest, all right?
Right? There's some things that I just thought about that I'll share with you off the air.
Yeah.
While you were going through all of that, in terms of everything that's been going on, regardless of if it was the incident that you're speaking of, or if there was even new accusations or something going on, Mark has to tread very, very carefully.
Lightly, yes.
Very, very carefully, and his responses need to be the right ones.
I'm hip. I'm truly hip. That's why in the beginning, when you heard it right away, they said no comment. Because ESPN was the first folks to ask for a comment, and they turned them away. Again, now, in my opinion, when you have matters like this should be handled internally, especially like you have an HR and whatnot. But yeah, if you go right to the NFL, that can lead in your firing right away. You going over your boss's head. But again, if this is going on, if this has been a problem, in a way, yes, Dan did the right thing. If this is all true. But damn. It's a crazy matter, Phil. This is really turning into the matter of you thought everything was done, but think again. It's literally a surprise, motherfucker.
A big one. I said it looks like that Sonic and Knuckles movie where Knuckles just comes out of nowhere and knocks the gold off of Sonic.
All I'm saying is this, and here's the thing. If this is the case, why hasn't anybody else came out and said anything? Because I'm gonna tell you this.
Anybody else?
People are very vocal nowadays.
Very.
Whether you're a woman working in a front office like this, they are saying, the hell with that. I'm not sitting around. I'm going to come out and say what I need to say. And it should have been already said. So the question is, if this was going on during last season, why didn't it come out? If this was the team president that knew about all this stuff, why did it come out just now?
Well, we all know why it came out now.
Oh, but I'm saying, it always tends to loop back. Well, why didn't you do something about it sooner?
As the team president.
Exactly. See, you're made as team president to handle everything that's going around. Not just
More
the
important,
owner
more
handling his stuff.
importantly, more
I
importantly,
hired you to
one
do
of the
this.
things one of the things that he stated was his role, exercising his role as general counsel to the fullest. So how long were you general counsel? Because if this was going on as general counsel, it was your
You turned a
job to
blind eye.
bring this to an end. That was your job.
So you see where I'm going at? If he wants to swing, that's what I'm saying. This can go back and forth as an eye for an eye.
Mm-hmm.
In your position, why didn't you take care of this long ago? You understand what I'm saying? If you didn't take care of
Yeah.
this long ago, why are we now talking about this now? Even if it was last year, it still should have been taken care of last year.
More importantly, this information that you feel so righteously able to obligated to report seems to have been done about the time that you found that your employment was coming to an end.
Now, it's been a lot of stuff that has popped up with the Raiders. You know, you go back and look at they overpaid in taxes. Going, you know, the IRS had brought up and said, well, you know, you overpaid this year, that year, and that year. You see where I'm getting at? You see what I'm getting at?
Tread lightly. There's a
Why
lot.
are you overpaying this amount? Now, granted, everybody say, you know, overpaying is great because then, you know, it looks good and all, but I mean, that could be affecting your cash flow. That could be doing a lot
Big
of things.
time. Big time.
So at the end, I really feel like I have to keep an open mind on this. I'm not being one-sided. I'm not taking anybody's side. I have to look at all different possible scenarios in this. One scenario being maybe Ventrelle was doing something so underhanded. Mark threw this at him with "you're gone," and then Ventrelle was like, "Well, I'm gonna pull something up," and I bet Mark didn't even know about it.
Probably.
And then, you know, you had this option of what, you know, Dan Ventrelle is presenting to the table. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to start looking at all different options and all different possibilities. You can't just play one side and say, oh, yeah, this is all going to be Mark Davidson effed up. Yeah, he's gone. I feel like there's people that want what Mark Davis has. And the problem is they're not going to be able to get it. They're not going to be able to get this shit.
Like the notorious B.I.G. said, when you have more money, you got more problems. And Marcus sure had a lot more problems than he's ever seemed to have.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct that they've had more problems. I mean, really stemming back from 2017
than he's ever seemed to have.
So at the end of everything, this could drag on. This could be handled a certain way. Maybe the accusation, I can't say the accusations can get dismissed because this is very strong, and you got to remember, this guy he could actually get he can get disbarred. He's still a lawyer.
Yeah. And Sean, you are
Thank
absolutely
you.
right. That's something that I brought up. Carol Davis is technically the one who owns the team, regardless of what happens to Mark. He's opting on her behalf, but he could always be replaced.
Thank you. So technically speaking, would you be putting the blame on
Ooh.
Carol Davis? Really?
Ooh, are we doing funny things with the feed now?
Yeah, yeah. You're like you're looking all fuzzy. Yeah, Dre. I keep wondering, like, damn, can we catch a break? Can we just stay quiet for once? Can we just catch a break from being in the news? Nah, it's inevitable.
Nope. The NFL as a whole is making tons and tons of money off of reporting every single ounce of Raiders misfortune it possibly can.
Hey, what can I say?
When the Raiders are not in the news cycle, viewership is down.
Yeah,
Said good or
people's
bad, the
take.
Raiders, yeah,
Yeah,
good or bad, Raiders are what's good for business. And lately, it's been for too long. It's been bad.
everybody. It's funny how everybody feels that Mark Davis can't pay this, he can't do that. He ain't broke by a long shot. He ain't.
Nope,
He may be cheap, but he ain't broke.
nope.
You gotta separate the difference between broke and cheap.
We seem to forget Mark Davis owns another franchise. Said Mark Davis is
Exactly.
had moving to
And that
Vegas.
franchise is doing great. Phil, can you hear me?
Just barely.
Hold on, it's glitching on my side. Hold on, let me fix something. But go on, what were you about to say?
I was saying that business Mark Davis has been doing great since he moved to Vegas. This has been an absolute game changer for him in terms of financing. He's making all the money that he should have been making in Oakland. And that's what a lot of people don't realize is that the Alameda County and the city of Oakland were fucking him.
Like how
No
bad?
pause.
Well,
Like oh, they would. I believe they got the concessions money. All he got, he got the merchandise, which the Raiders Image Store isn't even allowed to be in there. So it's really bring in all your merchandise and sell it. And to be honest with you, the better merchandise was the shit they was selling on the causeway walking over from Bart or around the stadium. So there's the merchandise that he wasn't getting top dollar for. The concessions that he wasn't getting paid for. He was getting paid the ticket price, and then getting and you got to remember most of his games were getting blacked out locally. So he wasn't necessarily getting a whole bunch of TV revenue money from that either, because nobody could see the game locally, which I always thought was the stupidest idea. I was like, that's just a punishment. I'm like blocking out games in the local media. How do you expect it to grow if you don't televise it? How do you expect to get increase the fan experience if you can't even watch it? But so then you look at what's going on in Vegas. It's not just it's not just the building of the stadium. It's everything that goes into the stadium. See, he was paying rent to go there for half a year. And then that's all he was doing. He was making his money off tickets. Whereas now they own the building, or excuse me, they don't own the building, but they're getting paid for everything that goes on in the building, regardless of the event, not just the games themselves. He's getting paid. They get tax inferred payments. Basically, they get paid a portion of the sales taxes that goes down for all the businesses around the stadium, for which happens to be the Strip. Let that sink in. So, the merchandise store, the on-hand merchandise store, the stadium tour experience, just to show people around that they're getting paid off of that too. So then you bring in the aces. He's getting revenue from everywhere in Nevada, and there's no California 13% sales tax or not 9% sales tax on anything, and the income tax is a no go out there in the state of Nevada. So he is getting broke off every which way.
Yeah.
The Raiders are make no mistake. Nobody will ever be using Poverty Franchise and the Raiders in conjunction again. If Raiders aren't making money, it's because somewhere down the line, the money they're supposed to be getting is getting siphoned and transferred someplace else. They should be making a shit ton of money. Honestly, Mark Davis, with the way things are going in Vegas, with if his team were to win the Super Bowl, let's say as soon as next year or the year after, he will have fuck you money.
Yeah. Man. Phil, all I can say is this. At the end of everything, it's going to unfold. And I honestly do not think Mark is going to have any problems.
It'll be
I mean,
more hassle, and
yeah,
it's not the way that he wants to do things. It's not the way that it couldn't possibly be good for a regime coming in trying to get things situated and move away from the negative stigma that's been there for so long, and then to turn around and have this go down. But it is what it is.
yeah. But like I said, at the end of everything, I think Mark. I think Mark will be all right.
Broncos sale will be followed by the forced sale of the Commanders, and then the things with the Raiders will be brought to the surface. Um, that's an interesting theory. I could see if I were writing a story, I would say that would be perfect. But this ain't a story, so
Nah.
any number of things can happen. Now, I think more to the point of what you said, Phil, and what's really important is that I think that these things were happening before Mark really had any type of impact to do something about it or even knew about. Because everything that we've seen about Mark Davis would suggest that he's not the type of guy to just sit there and let something like that happen.
And that's what I'm saying. And again, we look at how it took time for Mark to figure out what was going on around the front office. But really, all of these similarities that are being brought up, that statement, and you know what? I got it right here, actually. And I'm going to play it real quick.
Silence is complicity. Now, there will be those who are dubious that I didn't interact with him, or dubious that I didn't hear anything of that nature, or dubious that I would have spoken up. So for that reason, I will share that I did hear comments of that nature from the individual to whom John sent those emails. And I did speak up. I spoke up repeatedly. I spoke up forcefully. I talked to the owner about it, because to be silent would have been to be complicit.
And there you're talking about former Washington team president Bruce Allen. And, you know, the Raiders had access, Amy, to these emails perhaps as early as 2 Fridays ago, and they allowed Gruden to coach the team that Sunday against the Chicago Bears. It was not until that damning New York Times report on the following Monday that he and the team parted ways. Should it have taken that long?
Well, you're right. It could have been 2 Fridays ago. It could have been even more Friday of emails came out that Sunday. No, I don't.
Amy, there are questions as to how these emails untold amounts of confidential information. So how, out of 650,000 emails in an investigation into the
that leaked these emails? But the direct response to your very direct points is, it was always my assumption in each and every NFL owners meeting I attended that no matter what was handed out, if it was marked attorney-client privilege, what was said, it was going to eventually get out, or certainly at a minimum, there was an extraordinary risk it was. But that said, I'm going to double down and again say, I don't believe it was the league that leaked these.
That's interesting.
Think about that. Now, we said everything that went on within the past, correct?
Yep.
I feel like a lot of this shit comes back from who started back in 2003. Who started with the team back in 2003? When you listen to what Amy just said right there, going back when she was doing Bruce Allen or John Gruden and them, Dan Ventrelle started back then around the time that it was Bruce Allen's final year, and he had left the team to go to Tampa Bay in 2004. I feel that I feel like there's a lot of shit from the past that is being dug up, but is now being the pile of monkey shit thrown into Mark Davis's face.
Yep. And all these things that he didn't have, that let's walk that back. All these things that have happened that weren't necessarily his issue, who are now being thrown because he's the owner and making him to look bad, even though he had nothing to do with it.
For someone that's been a strong activist within, domestic violence, or, I also even say, with the LGBTQ community, and then you just go down the list of things of what Mark Davis is involved in. To turn a blind eye, it just does not fit his MO. You understand what I'm getting at?
Especially when with the stances that he's taken, he would be in such a position to correct it quickly.
Because here's the thing, and I know, and that's why I went back to everything that happened with John Gruden. Everybody's saying, well, why didn't you fire him that Friday night? You know how much crazy shit that causes? You have to readjust a game plan. And I get it. Because you also got to think of the matter of, the team who I'm going to put up in charge right away, that's a short-ass time frame. It is. I get it. So if I got to have him relieve the duties that Monday, okay, let it be. But everything getting leaked out and shit with just John shit, And then all of that stuff getting brought up right there. Maybe it was Dan. Maybe Dan was your leak.
Had to come from somebody.
Because this leak right here, it's, you know, how everything is starting to come full circle. It's really looking like old Danny boy.
Could do you one better and say that if you really stop and think and look at the way that whole thing went down, said that was a loose end that needed to be severed from the organization in order for the organization to move forward. Because you look at the result of what happened after that move. Now, previously, I thought that it was it was you look at who benefited from it at that particular moment, and immediately it was the head of the NFL Players Union. Immediately, it was the NFL for having their guy as the head of the Players Union. So the Raiders ended up being a tremendous advantage for the Raiders, who brought in a competent front office, who brought in a new head coach, who brought in a system of prosperity, a modernization of an NFL franchise. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, it was the bread trails.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
What's up, Gabe?
Hey, Gabe, how you doing? And not a problem, Sarah. Not a problem at all.
No, and just listening to what Amy said, I was like, man, I mean, if she didn't spell it out, I don't know what was going to.
Oh, hell yeah, man. You watching from Mexico? All right, bro. Bet, Gabe. I mean, overall, I think the team's going to be fine. Coaching-wise, player-wise, I think that the person they want to put at team president is already there. I think that somebody just got butt hurt in the end. So they're just bringing up old cases or accusations, which could also be true, but not affecting the current party, if you catch my drift.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, it's...
Feliz cumpleaños.
I tell you, man.
Are we ready to play nice now, Ace?
It really just hit me.
So are we ready to play nice now, Ace? I've been watching you in the comment section this whole time. It said over here with this fracas, let's say. No, but you're right about that, Phil. And looking at that compared to what I was thinking earlier, that that would fall right in play with that, wouldn't it?
No, yeah, that's what it would definitely be. But man, it's like when you thought you got away from this whole fiasco, all the arms got chopped off and they just regrew again. And it's just crawling its way right back to you.
Oh, yeah. It's a dirty game, but again, when you play the Game of Thrones, this is how it goes down. More money, more problems. So when you got all kinds of money, somebody's always trying to take it from you.
At the end of everything, I'm gonna just say this shit. It's just another brick wall in Mark Davis's way that he's just gonna have to take a sledgehammer and knock it down.
I will say this about Mark, and you look at all these situations that have come up against him. You look at what he's done as the owner of this franchise. And for everybody who said that he'd never be the man his father was, I'd argue that with a championship will make him more of a man than his father was. His father may have set the ideal, set the dream, but Mark brought it to reality and made it happen. And with everything, you there's no possible way that you can't say that it's been the NFL and the world versus the Raiders, especially with everything that's gone on in the last couple of years.
Got a good point there. Got a good valid point right there. I'm just really. This really got me, you know. So yeah, and Andrew, you're right. Yeah, he needs to continue to clean up this main office. Hey, look! Didn't I just give this man a shape up?
Battle helmet.
Nah, bro. He needs the waves, homie. He needs the waves.
The Lucius wave
kit, bro.
The beehive.
I'm gonna have to hook him up, man.
I heard that.
But yeah, definitely Mark Davis. This whole matter with him, Dan Ventrelle, I think what ends up happening, we're going to get the whole details to the story. If I'm Mark, maybe he should come full force, but make sure he has his back covered. And I do also believe it could be another hit job. Yeah, high five, Freddie. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Because he's been, I'm going to be real. Mark, he has a clean sheet. I'm going to be real. Out of most of these owners, I think Mark has the cleanest sheet. But it's everybody trying to throw shit on him to tarnish his name. Now, again, as we said earlier, the hit job stops when you find a new owner or you end up exposing the league. Or, it stops when, you win a damn Super Bowl.
Nope. It ain't never going to stop until he's no longer the owner. And that's the reality of it. Because you can't blame, because Mark Davis is still a member of the Davis family. So without the Davis family there's nothing to tie that organization to the Davis family. And more likely than not, hold on, let me finish this thought. It's something that I've said and that I've been horrified about, is that once Mark Davis is there, they can change the name of the Raiders and there'll be no more mystique, no more history.
Phil, you remember that little talk I had about who should be groomed?
Mm-hmm.
I bet you it's already happening.
Is he capable?
I think he is.
Does he have the educational background to handle that type of business acumen?
I can do the digging. I can find.
You have your beliefs. I have mine. And that's okay. said I could say, you could say Mark, you could say that Al was better in some areas. Mark has been much better in others. So when you look at the whole scope of the entire thing, and understand, we're talking about ownership. We're not talking about coaching. We're not talking about being a general manager. We're not talking about scouting. We're not talking about all being the commissioner. We're talking straight ownership. Because one of the things that Mark has always said is that he knows what he does not know, and he's not going to try to go out there and be the man at something that he knows nothing about. And that is a wise thing to do in terms of management.
Yeah.
But that's all I got. You got anything for him, Phil?
No, I mean that's pretty much it. That's all I really wanted to dive in till I get more details on the matter. But you know, if I need to find something, I do find it.
Always.
Trust me, CJ ain't the only one.
And we will bring y'all the unfiltered truth.